Allow me to reintroduce myself.
You are now tuning in to the Snap Call Podcast.
What's up going on, guys? Welcome to the Snap Call. It is October 5th, the big day. I'm Xavier.
I'm Ice.
And today we are kicking off with a special guest. We have Ryan, who is the assistant poker room manager here at Orange City. What is going on, Ryan?
I'm happy to be here, guys. So great to have you guys.
Absolutely. No, thank you. Thank you for having us here. Ryan has been an integral part of this partnership that we've been building with the local card room. We've been playing in these card rooms for years, and it's just been great to be able to, connect with them and get the podcast here on site and really connect with the poker community itself. Today, lots of things going on in the poker room. We've got the main event, Flight C, taking place. We got the Ship It in Deep Stack taking place later on today. So get on down here. $500 high hands today?
500 every 20 minutes till midnight. Great promotion.
Awesome. And only one card needed, right?
We have the best and easiest hands to hit in Florida. It takes one card to play any full house.
That is awesome. So I remember back in the day, you needed both whole cards. Now you only need one.
Sometimes you even have to start with a pair. We're going to let you win it.
That is awesome. So, hey, we're going to kick it off with Ryan. Want to get to know Ryan a little bit more. And then we're going to segue. We got another special guest right after. And then we're going to talk about today's tournaments, what's going on in sports, and we'll go from there.
Xavier.
We got a big announcement. Oh, yeah. So,
Sometimes.
Ice, go ahead and kick us off with Ryan here.
Yeah, Ryan, first of all, thank you for being on the podcast. So tell us, what is your day-to-day operations and what do you do for Orange City Poker Room?
So I've been with this company since about 2011. I was a part-time dealer / floor supervisor in Daytona and took a promotion to a nighttime supervising position full-time, and took many years, and they said, we're going to open Orange City. We need a nighttime manager. You're the guy. So I did it and worked my way down to the day shifts, and now Richard and I work together and try and make this the best room in Florida right now. We're dominating Central Florida and expanding. It's great. We have the most competitive promotions. We have great dealers, great staff, great product. We're so excited about our new chips, our new tables, this Deep Stack series. So that's a little bit about me. As far as what I do day to day, I'm looking to hire great people and train people, supervisors, dealers, brushes. Work with Frank and Sydney, come up with promotions that compete with the rest of the state, look what everyone else is doing and try and stay ahead of industry trends. Luckily, we have Byron Rodriguez, who's arguably the best tournament director in the country to me. I know there's some other names, but he's the guy, and what he's done for Central Florida at Daytona Beach and now here in Orange City is awesome. The exciting stuff we have for you guys coming up is great. And when it came to our attention that we had a local group that is growing and wants to grow with us, we want to grow with them, that does a podcast, has a following, creates social media content, and loves poker. I mean, it was a match made in heaven. So you guys, Snap Call, we quickly got it all in. And tonight we have your first ever tournament, the $200 buy-in, $5K guarantee. What's exciting about this tournament is you can play it with Xavier and Ice and the rest of the crew every month. Some months it's going to be in Orange City, some in Daytona, but it'll always be the first weekend of the month so we can have some consistency. And it's going to be Deep Stack also. I think you guys get 25,000 chips. That might be enough for one of you to make the money.
Yeah. No,
Hopefully that's the game plan.
That's a lot of play.
Conversation starter or a dropper there.
Oh, definitely. No, it's like a match made in heaven for us, right? Like we've been playing in this room since it opened back in 2017. We learned how to play poker back in Daytona, basically. We lost a lot of money there, so we learned the hard way. So it's just
people, my lessons were very expensive.
Yeah.
Still learning.
Yeah, no.
Still donating, I should say.
Yeah, no, back into late 2000s. Yeah, so no, it's been great. And when this room opened up, it was just basically right in our backyard. It was far enough where we can't find ourselves here every single day, but close enough where we'll find ourselves on the weekends.
I'm going to age myself, but I've been involved in Florida poker, not since the beginning, but maybe the next wave, where 25-cent poker in Tampa. It was just called the Seminole Bingo Hall. Once the pot hit $10, the hands got turned over. That's all you can win. They had $40 and $55 sit and goes, and believe it or not, Texas Hold'em was not the most popular game at the time. If you went and played a sit and go, it was Omaha 8 or Stud 8. So I actually got my start playing mixed games. Rounders came out in 1997. This is my age thing, and Texas Hold'em became the game. Everyone wants to play. What they say, Doyle said, that's the real game, or put a man to the test. It's the most pure game. We've seen a couple booms, and one of those booms was in 97 when Rounders came out, and then in 2003 with
Moneymaker
whole cameras with the World Poker Tour, and this guy out of Tennessee, Kentucky, $86 satellite winner turns into a $10K buy-in, turns that into $2.5 million. falls asleep at the table pretty much, looking at Phil Ivey and beats Sam Farha heads up. And we're lucky to have a relationship with Chris and Tony Burns. So it's just great, and it's come full circle. Florida has really gone a long way up. Were you guys playing when it was $2 limit in Florida up until 2007?
So we were playing
When the max buy-in was $100.
Was $100. Even if
Before
you're playing
that,
5-10.
So before that, it was $2 betting, bet 2, raised to 4, capped at 8. And that's all you can bet. Limit all the games. And they said, I have an idea, let's go to $100 max buy-in. But they didn't really think about this. So they would have a 1-2 game or a 5-10 game, but they were both still $100 buy-in.
Yeah.
So the 5-10 game just kept the brushes busy because every hand you're all in.
Yep.
But then they decided, okay, $100 is kind of ridiculous. Let's give these guys real poker where they're doing around the country. And now, at that time, everyone played in the South. You would think of Mississippi, maybe Biloxi, places like that, even Harrah's, New Orleans. All of a sudden, Florida became on the map, and now, obviously you have the World Series in Vegas. But what we're doing in Florida is absolutely crazy. You can find 4-figure events almost every other weekend. And now that Orange City's expanded, I mean, there's no end in sight for us. We're super excited to use this area. And where we're sitting right now is the future home of our live stream table. It's still under construction. That's the last phase of our expansion. But it's just great, the support we're getting. Believe it or not, we thought, okay, we'll get some Orlando players. We'll have a great turnout. This tournament we're looking at right now, I talked to players on the phone from Atlanta, South Florida, North Florida, parts of Georgia.
We got a couple guys right there from Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's great. We're centrally located. People didn't know Orange City was here, and that's been our challenge. You see OC, you might think like Orange County or California, but no, it's Orange City. It's a small city. It's right here. It's just south of DeLand. I never knew about it. I lived in Sarasota and grew up and moved over to Sanford with my family, and we started in Daytona. I had to commute, and they said, we're going to open in Orange City. It's the closest we can be to Orlando in Volusia County. I said, let's do it. And this was an old movie theater, and where we're sitting right now never intended to be extra poker tables. We thought we'd have the 2 rooms across here that had the 40, 34 tables, whatever it was. And now that we went to 58, it's absolutely incredible. The company has put a lot of effort and money into this. We were busting at the seams. We were having this promotion called Big Ass High Hand, most popular promotion in Florida. You know something's good when everyone copies it.
Oh, yeah.
The most sincere flattery. So Big Ass High Hand was huge. Yeah. And we had people 60, 70 on the list. I said, this is wrong. These people are driving in, they want to play, and they're waiting 4 or 5 hours. This isn't going to work. So they came up with a plan. You know what? Let's look at those old movie theaters. And this was not where you wanted to be.
Yeah, no.
A lot happened in those movie theaters. A lot of bad memories and spilled popcorn and breakups probably. But, I mean, we're so lucky to have the team we have and the foresight to be able to put this thing together. And our company, Delaware North's huge. A lot of people don't realize it. When I interview someone, hey, do you know what Delaware North is? No, what's Delaware North? Well, we got Daytona and Orange City Poker. Yeah. What about the Boston Bruins? What about them? Our chairman owns them. Oh, that's fantastic. Have you ever flown out of LAX or New Orleans? Why? We operate the concession stands. Most sports stadiums you go to, we're selling you the hot dog and the beer. Casinos all over the world. It's great. I spent a week at a national park owned by Delaware North, one of the hotels right outside the park in
That's awesome.
Yosemite. It's a great big company, and our gaming division's growing. And so Orange City is where we currently spend our money. Right before this, they did a large expansion in our Southland property, and they call it West Memphis, but it's actually Arkansas. And the great thing about our GAPT, Great American Poker Tournaments, is we've actually done events in our other properties and allowed people to travel down to Central Florida.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, maybe we'll send you guys up to Wheeling in West Virginia. You can play.
Yeah,
For sure.
Well, let me ask you this really quick. So we always heard rumors, right, that this was here, but we just couldn't see it. But we knew if that wall was ever knocked down, that then it would filter out and grow into the potential to do these tournaments, right? Like, so we knew, hey, cash games are busy, but the one thing that we wanted more of was tournaments. So can you talk a little bit about, now that the room's expanded, what the capabilities look like from a tournament perspective?
Yeah, I'll tell you 2 things. First, a lot of rooms run a big tournament, and you'll see a dip in their cash play. They're just kind of pulling from the cash play. The thing I've noticed this week, and it's amazing to me, is that we actually have more cash play than normal, and we're having these large turnouts. We beat every guarantee. It's been incredible, the reception we got here. Once we put, hey, we're going to do a tournament series, we're going to do a special event, the floodgates have opened. We're able to do so much more now. This tournament series right here had 10 trophy events. The main event is actually event number 9, 1,100 buy-in, 200K guarantee. There's another event tomorrow night, your event tonight. That closes off this series. And then we've already announced the Almighty Stack in November. Well, what is that? We're going to be the first room in Central Florida to give you a $100,000 chips.
That's crazy.
If you can't make a run in a tournament with 100,000 chips, guys, I'm not joking. We had to go online, talk to our vendor who came up with our chips. They're fantastic. We said, hey,
Beautiful.
what are we going to do now? We're going to have 80 million chips in play. So we actually have a 1 million unit chip. I don't say $1 million because tournament chips have no cash value. We have an oversized cranberry, maybe ruby red wine, 1 million chip coming in because you're going to have 80 million chips in play. We're going to have 4 flights in this $250 buy-in, 100K guarantee. It's the almighty stack. Oh, the trophy is this tall. And then they said, you know what? We love Chris and Tony. Let's do something with Moneymaker. Can you guys handle it? So you'll talk about it a little bit later. I'm not on, but 23 trophy events and 700,000 plus guarantees.
That's awesome.
And to be able to do, we have some exciting news next year with a revamped Player of the Year system, which we it's a little soon to talk about, but Frank and Cindy from marketing have really come up with some great ideas, and we're going to make a push to compete and make this the reason you want to come out on a weekend night, whether it's weekend, weekday, have a chance to play and maybe play for a prize at the end of the month or end of the year. We're just getting started.
Yeah, you guys continue to position yourselves in a way where you're stealing more and more share from the other rooms.
Joining in with you
awesome.
gentlemen is great. I mean, you're putting out awesome content. I'm watching your shorts and your lives, and I'm having fun with it. And it's great if you're on the treadmill because I go slow. So you just put it on there, and once in a while, ice might go a little crazy. So you speed up a couple notches or maybe go on the incline. But there's so much poker out there, so much content, so many reasons to go play. What makes you different? Whenever you have an expansion, you're new, people want to check it out. You get them in, you got to keep them. So having different events, different chip stacks, different guarantees, that's what's exciting. And Byron definitely brings more to the table than any other poker room as far as their tournament directions going. We couldn't be happier. And even when we're not hosting an event, our neighbor Daytona will be, like even the Mega Rush tournament coming up, or an unannounced 100K single day coming up. They have so much that we can't even really talk about that is going to give people a reason to like, that's where I want to go. That's where I want to be.
Yeah, I love
So since we're here for the fall deep stack, how has that been going? Have you guys been hitting the guarantees? How you been receiving by local players?
So something Byron started before the last Moneymaker in Daytona was what we called the Ultimate Mega Satellite. And I remember telling you guys about this for your last podcast or two. And he said, let me take the two most popular events and do a satellite that gets you 2 tickets instead of just 1. And it was a great idea. So we decided to do that for this also. And we only guaranteed, I think, 4 or 5 packages. And I think we got up to 7 or 8. So it's growing. People bought in for one amount, and they got an $1,100 main event seat and a $400.
That's awesome.
For a great price. And then these are all deep stacks. Where the crazy thing about all of our deep stack tournaments, the structures are so good, we hurt ourselves, that there's no enticement to get here early. You can buy in up until the last minute before registration ends and almost have 20 big blinds, which I don't know what that means because I don't play tournaments, I guess. But I do talk about them sometimes on the internet and annoy people. But I usually have someone with me who's more experienced. But deep stack tournaments are what people want to play. They want value. If you guys don't know, in the World Series in the old days, you only got chip for chip value. So if you played a $500 event or a $1,000 seniors event, you got 1,000 chips. That was the tournament. The World Series main event was 10K, you got 10,000 chips. But nowadays it's common to get 15 or 20,000 chips. But the trick is, what are the structures? What's the blind levels? You can go play somewhere where, hey, we're going to give you this much. And then you're 4 levels in, I got 4 big blinds, I'm shoving all in. This is the average stack. That's not fun.
Yeah, turbo structure.
And they kind of deceive you. Oh, you're going to get this much chips, but there's no play, there's no value. All of our tournaments have that value. Like I said, it hurts us where people are coming so late because they know they can still get in and play deep stack. You're not forced. I think it's easy decision poker. My wife would call it short stack ninja, but she's the pro in the family for sure. She might take your trophy.
Have you been seeing that transition to the cash games as well too for this tournament series? You see more guys stay later, play cash games.
The exciting thing for us is that we've had a mix of games that no other room has had for a while. A lot of people know, wow, Orange City's a place to go for PLO. 1-2 PLO, 2-5 PLO, Sicko 10-25 PLO in the middle of the night. So having those games and these people come play the tournament and they look over at the cash list and they're like, oh, they got 1-2. Oh, wow, you got 2-5? Oh, okay, crazy. Look at that Omaha game. Wow, that's deep stack. Oh, you guys are doing bomb pots too? People didn't realize what we had. And now that they know what it is, they're planning their trips. Guy told me the other day, I'm driving by the I-4 Tampa exit and coming straight up here to play. I'm going to play some Omaha and get in that tournament. Great. Glad to have you. Yeah. And then Cindy and Frank have worked with a lot of the area hotels in Amelia for marketing also to try and find us some good neighbors. You know, when people do travel, you want a place to stay, whether it's an Airbnb or a hotel. Orange City doesn't have that structure in place. Orange City is kind of one of those flyover towns, but it's growing. It's getting big. Some good restaurants here. And we're also right off the interstate. So you go 15 minutes south and you're in Lake Marion, Sanford, plenty of options. You can go up to DeLand. And we do have great relationship with the hotels in Daytona. Obviously, our property's been there for many, many, many years. So keep shooting them at me, or I'm going to start asking you guys questions. I might put these guys, I made a joke before the podcast, I might put them in the tank, but it's snap calls, so they have to go quick.
So, as a manager and as a team member, what's the most exciting part about this expansion?
The most exciting part is getting word out there that we can handle the volume, do big events, and make this the place in Central Florida to play. I've been always proud to be a member of the team here. I put a lot of passion in. I'm the spell checker on things. I want everything to look right. I want everyone's first experience to be great. My slogan for the staff the last few weeks is, hey, we're going to have a bunch of new faces here. How do we make a first-time guest a second-time guest, and so forth? And people are coming in, they're wowed by the experience, and that's great. We are a poker room, but we also offer a great customer service experience. Yep. So to be able to get new faces in and get them involved is great. It looks like your special guest may be sneaking over on break, so I might have to cut this short, but if you've never heard me before, you can find me sometimes on Daytona Poker Live on their Final Table streams. Soon to come in Orange City, great big announcements coming. Xavier and I won't spend more time with you, but I'm going to cut myself out. Okay. Because this guy has a chip stack. I hope he has more than 10 blinds. If he doesn't, it's a great structure. He did complain about not liking 6 maxes, but 50 bigs. All right, I'm going to check out, but guys, we're going to do this again.
Thank you for coming
Come
on.
back.
Appreciate it.
Come back when Charlie's off. We want to talk about upcoming events with you.
Okay, all right. Well, in the meantime, I might go buy a hat.
Yeah, go do
Sounds
it.
good.
Go do it. All right, come. All right, guys. So jumping on right now. He is on a break at the moment, so we're not going to take too much of his time. But a couple minutes here with Charles Campos, local Florida pro. Charlie, thanks for jumping on with us, man. We appreciate
no problem,
it.
Guys.
Definitely. So Charlie is currently in the main event right now, $1,100, $200K guarantee. How's that going so far?
So far, so good. I got here level 4, 40K starting stack. Kind of card dead. We're up to about 55K now. Okay. So slow and steady. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Charlie, tell us something about yourself. How did you get into poker? How long you been playing? Also, your military background as well too.
Yeah. I started poker probably, I want to say, somewhere around 2007, 2008-ish. Just dabbling, saw it on the internet, thought it was cool. Jumped online a couple times, nothing big at all, and just kept losing. Didn't realize what's going on.
That's how it goes,
just
right?
losing.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of fun, guys. So I started there. Whatever. I'm retired military. I was a chief of the Navy, also a retired Department of Defense firefighter. So I just travel around and play some poker.
Awesome. Now, have you always been a tournament player? Did that always just kind of entice you more than cash, or kind of when did you decide what you wanted to, kind of follow?
During that time, I was already playing baseball and softball, and it's usually tournaments, and I kind of like the structure of tournaments, stuff like that. Cash games, I never really got into, just because as I started learning and actually focusing on poker, the mental side of tournaments was just where it was at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really, really enjoyed it, the mental warfare. Not the fact that you can just bust with ace king and then reload. Big fish eats little fish type syndrome there. So I prefer the tournament structure. It kind of evens the playing field, just a 500 buy-in. Everybody's starting the same amount, Yeah. And once level 8 comes or whatever, registration's over, then it begins. You know what I mean?
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
And no more rebuys.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And a lot of beginning poker players and a lot of experienced poker players as well want to know, how was the Solve for Why experience like? Did you feel that improved your game?
I went to Solve for Why Academy around 2018-ish. I had won a main event seat here at the Daytona Poker Room, and I figured why not invest some money into myself at that point. Yeah. So I went out to the Academy, shout out to them, Solve for Why. You can check that out, little plug, academy.solveforwhy.io. Get a hold of Brian LaManna. They have an upcoming course, the 12th to the 14th of November. I believe it's a cash course. They have a cash one, tournament one, and then an elite one for those alumni who've already been through. Nice. So I think it helped my game tremendously in the fact that it really teaches you how to navigate tournaments.
Yeah.
So I felt that was like the biggest takeaway from it. When to be aggressive, when to ramp it up, not, sit back a little bit, and based on your blinds, what kind of strategy you should employ. Before that I thought I knew poker, and then it rocked my world.
So it's funny, right? Because you did this Solve for Why thing. It's for those that don't know, it's just like Matt Berkey and his crew.
Yeah.
And then you played a 300K guaranteed tournament in Daytona, and you
Right.
find yourself heads up against Berkey. How was that experience like? Did you guys ever chop it up after and were like, hey,
Well, the night before, we were down to like 2 tables, and I was like in the 7th seat. He was in the 8th seat, something like that. He was on my left, and it was like 7 straight hours of Matt Berkey on your left.
that's gotta be torture?
So that was great. So it's like, you're opening and he's 3-betting, and you're opening and he's 3-betting, and you're like, is he taking advantage of it or has he really got it? So halfway through that, we deployed a little different strategy. Got a bag, and then on day 2, we were on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, things changed in our favor that time. So it was really good. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. We talked a lot. It was really cool for his academy too. Like having a student go all the way through that, and then being heads up in that moment.
Yeah. No, that's like ultimate poster boy opportunity. It's like
Yeah.
student beats the teacher in a sense.
Yeah, we shook hands that morning. We said, no chop.
Yeah.
No chop.
That's
So,
awesome.
what's your main focus when you're navigating through these large fields playing tournaments?
I would just try to tell people, I try to stay even keel. You're going to take bad beats throughout it. Try not to go on tilt. Your stack is going to fluctuate up and down. You're not going to win the first hand of the tournament, and you're going to win every hand from there. So there's going to be setbacks. You're going to get aces cracked. Your ace king, you're going to 3-bet it 5 times, and it's not coming. You got to stay calm. You know what I mean? You got to remember, navigating through these big fields, that you're not winning the tournament on day 1. So it's okay to fold ace king in level 2. You don't have to get it all in. You know what I mean?
So, do you have like a breathing technique or like a squeeze ball, something like that? Like, how do you, when you start feeling like you're on tilt or something like that, navigating through these fields when you run into like a bad beat or something?
What I do is I put on classical music.
Okay.
I listen to like Andre Bocelli. Or
Nice.
something like that. Well, I don't understand any of the words, but
it's
like the
soothing.
voice is really just calming. You know what I mean? Or a lot of people use like Prime Mind, like the Elliott Rowe app or something like that. Kind of just like bring them back to reality. Yeah.
We've been lucky enough to watch multiple final tables you've sat at. You
Right.
know, Best Bet, Daytona,
Yeah.
following along on updates for the Hard Rock tournament that you just took down a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's cool to listen to these commentators, right? Because they all know you at this point, right? We're in Florida.
Yep.
You're a big name within Florida now, especially in the circuit.
Right.
And you sit down and I remember specifically in a Best Bet tournament you were in, I think you had lost a hand, and they were just basically like, if there's anyone that's still, projected to take this down, it's him. Don't give him chips. It was extremely, extremely humbling to kind of hear that, I'm sure. Do you find yourself being targeted sometimes because of who you are?
100%.
Or, yeah.
Especially like in the Best Bet room or here locally.
They know you, right?
They know me, and it's like I open and they defend the 7-3 off, because they just want to crack me and then tell their friends that they did it. You know what I mean? And I'm not like a celebrity or nothing like that. I'm just a low stakes grinder, but my name's out around here locally, so they like it. They get a kick out of it.
So when you were playing the 400, I saw when you went all in with King Jack and you lost, but I saw you needling the guy that had aces as well too. Do you do that too in tournaments? Like they go after you, but you also go after them?
100%, yeah. But I mean, they know at this point where it's just on the felt and that's it. It's nothing personal. Like that's just like a tactic for me. Like I try to get under your skin a little bit.
Yeah, because I saw the guy take out his camera and you was like, "Yeah, record this."
Yeah, he wanted
I'm about
to take a picture of it, so I just held it up for him. And I was like, "Hey, here you go, buddy." You know what I mean? Like it's all in fun though. It's all in fun. I like it.
I don't want to steal too much of your time because I know you're in a tournament. You gotta go stretch your legs, use the bathroom.
okay.
But last question: personal poker goals, right? You've accomplished a lot so far in your career.
Yeah.
Long career ahead of you. Is there anything that you're like, a bracelet? I want to win a bracelet. I want to ring a circuit ring. What is your immediate goals that you're looking to attain?
I really don't follow anything like the jewelry or nothing like that. I'm not really a fan of the circuit or nothing like that. I just play for the fun of it, really. But I would say poker goals, I would like to play, take some shots at some bigger events, continue to see new venues that I haven't been to yet. And I think the biggest thing is Networking. Put yourself out there. You're going to get ridiculed. It's all right. You know what I mean? the snap call guys. I wear your brand all the time. I represent it from day one.
Absolutely.
I
Appreciate
always,
that.
try to plug it in here and there, and other things that I'm associated with. I think that's the biggest thing. As the military taught me, just network. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
There's not like a 6-figure, 7-figure score that you want to hit that pretty much says, "Hey, I made it."
Nope, I already made it. In my own mind, I made it, and for
like
the
that mentality.
for the buy-ins that I'm playing, I'm doing just fine. I like to eventually, if I could play all 5Ks, that would be great too, because I want to see how I do, on that level consistently. But bankroll is bankroll, and that's the number one thing in poker, I would say, is bankroll management. Play within your means, so you're not stressed out about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate that. We're gonna let you go. Get 5 minutes back to you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you jumping on. Good luck for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah.
Lots of tournaments going on between Orange City and Daytona coming up, so I'm sure we're gonna see you plenty very
Plenty,
soon.
yeah.
there. Moneymakers coming in.
Moneymakers
December.
coming in December. Jacksonville has the WPT in November, and then we go out to the WPT for Vegas. I'll just close with a little shout outs real quick.
Yeah, absolutely,
To
absolutely.
my kids, Katie and Kyle, and my grandson Antonio G.
I still can't believe you're a grandpa.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
nuts, right? Shout out to my mom. She's the rock. She's like, during a downswing, just call mom. Call mom every day. She's like, yeah, you've been through here. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Shout out to Seth Weinstock. He is AKA the hype man, AKA the marketing specialist. And also to Jennifer McDonald, AKA J-Mac, AKA the Care Bear, and AKA the One. I'll leave it at that, and let's go bag and tag, boys.
Awesome. Appreciate it, man.
Pleasure.
man.
Thanks a lot. See you guys soon.
All right, man. Have a good one. All right. So that was Charlie Campos, guys. Charlie's obviously on the circuit, well known. We're going to look to get either Hector or Fernando back with us. But until then, we can kind of, we're going to kick it back off with Ryan. Ryan's still here. There we go.
There we go.
Ryan is back on stream.
Ready? Guess who's back?
There we
Back
go.
again.
And Ryan's back with a hat, so we love it. Appreciate
Houdini
the
time, baby.
Appreciate the support. So,
I'm rocking the snap call. Yeah. I'm all in.
So where were we, Ice, with Ryan here? Because we had a good amount of questions to dig at Ryan.
All right, I'm ready to answer questions. I'll stop talking. Go.
All right, let's talk about the upcoming events going on here. So we got here 3K Power Hour in both locations. Tell us something about that.
3K Power Hours is our normal biggest promotion that we regularly schedule instead of like a big ass high hands. It's $1,000 every 20 minutes, usually from like 11 a.m. till midnight. It gives you a chance to hit $1,000. You get your high hand up on the board, hold up for 20 minutes, you get paid. $3,000 an hour is a very strong payout amount. Because we leverage both rooms together, we're able to offer those bigger payouts. Some people ask, well, isn't it Daytona versus Orange City? No, it's just 10 tables here, 12 there. It's just being in a 22-table poker room. The best hand's going to win. Yeah. And it works great.
And no other room in Florida does that, right?
No, and like I said, flattery
which is
and
good for
sincere
you guys.
copying and all that nonsense.
Yeah, outside of that.
It's hard to be original these days because you know right away they're going to steal it. But that's just the way this business goes, and we've borrowed some good ideas too. But the Power Hours is our biggest regular promotion. It used to be like almost every other Saturday. We started running these big tournaments, and we said, you know what? We'll keep one on a Saturday, and then on non-weeks where we have a big tournament, we'll throw it on a Wednesday or a Friday. And Friday the 13th, we tried it. Huge success. People came in and had a great time, got a new crowd in. A Wednesday's a new chance. And, maybe if you're a boss of a company with poker players, you might be a little light-staffed that day. They want to come down here and hit 1,000. But, we pay out quickly. You get your high hand on the board. When a royal goes up, you hear, oh. Yeah.
I've been here personally when you guys have these high hands, and this place is packed. The main room plus with
Overflow?
the overflow is packed. So with this expansion, you guys will probably fit a lot more, and there's going to be pretty much
That is the
a
drawback.
decent wait list, but not as much as it was before.
And that's the thing. A lot of people got into a habit of realizing if I'm not here 2 hours before the promotion starts, I'm not going to have a seat. But that's not the case anymore since we have all these tables to offer. You can be here early and get the table you want or whatever it is. But if you wake up a little bit later and you want to roll in for a long day, we're going to be able to open up games. We got the dealers, we got the tables. So that is a benefit to this expansion, is getting more people in so they can play for these big high hands. And it doesn't end at midnight. We also do 200 every half hour for the next 2 hours. It's kind of like the decompression, maybe the post-game stretch. And then obviously we do 100 an hour on off hours. And unlike other rooms, and I get a lot of this when I'm streaming. I got some trolls in the chat that always talk about other rooms' promotions, and they know they're embarrassed to talk about their room, but they do. We roll over. If you don't hit a high hand in that period, someone's going to get the money. I've been in some other rooms, and they'll have 100 up on the board, and you're like, okay, it's only $100. 3 hours have gone by, no one's hit it, and it's still $100. I'm like, what's going on? In Orange City, that'd be 300. But they also have a higher qualifier. We want people to get paid.
Yeah.
You only hit, if you win with queens full and you get $1,000, awesome. You get a straight flush and you win with it, still great. But we want people to get money back in their pocket, play, have fun, take shots at bigger games, fleece the pros, as I say, because they're trying to eat you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sharks are here.
And for a lot of people that are just like, oh, I don't play for high hands and stuff like that, I was one of the guys that hit the high hand when it was a rollover. It was really my first hand down. I hit a straight flush to the 7.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I got a video on it just in case they don't believe me. But it's possible for you guys to hit the high hand. So
This is something that changed in Florida where people kind of stopped going to just play poker, and the high hands kind of dictated where they would go that day. And it's hard. There's one room in Vegas that everyone knows. It's 4 letters, starts with an A and ends with an A. They don't do high hand promotions. Everyone wants to play there. It's a classy joint. Helmuth wears their gear, so we know what we're talking about. But you have to have high hands. People want to go where the money is. They want to go play. They want to have a chance to win. So we have the most aggressive plan with high hands. I think the last few years we averaged $6 million a year in payouts, which is roughly $500,000 a month, and that's hard to maintain. We find a way to do it. People like it. So, now that we're bigger, we can do more. Eventually, we can't give away $1 million every 20 minutes, but 1,000 is pretty strong. Absolutely. And you heard me talk about the big ass high hands. You'll see that one on the calendar again. We were the first to do that. You win the highest hand over a 4-hour period, we just gave you $5K on the spot. And then someone hit a royal, and everyone, ooh. And we said, okay, we have an idea. Reset. We'll do a royal reset.
Yep.
So we'll just pay another $5K out for that period. We don't do that one every month because that is a big one on the bankroll for us, but we are happy to offer that. And that has a huge, huge following. And then once in a while we mix it up and we throw in our Quadzilla promotion. So we try and do different things. Maybe throw someone in a dinosaur costume, let them walk around the room a little bit.
And we had said on an earlier podcast of us, like, Orange City has the best high hand promotions in the state of Florida. Like,
Easily.
Hands down.
And I'm friends with a lot of operators around the state. We do stay in touch and talk about poker trends, and I'm always interested in even something as simple as a poker ruling that maybe I've made 100 times. Hey, are we making this right? Hey, the TDA has a new rule this year. Are we going to change it? And I like to know what everyone's doing so we can try and be consistent. It's also easier for guests if a lot of the rooms have similar rules. Yeah, you want you don't want a guy who's been in a room, they have one rule, and then they come here and they get, oh, I didn't know that's how you guys cost the money. So we try and be consistent. And, everyone's going to do it their way, but it's good to communicate. They're always like, you guys with your high hands just kill us. That's our specialty. And now it's big tournaments and high hands. And
what I noticed too about the high hands here in this room is the either 1-2 and a 2-5 game. It doesn't like dilute as far as just like people just playing for the high hand. You still get good action, which in some rooms when they have the high hands, you can tell like it's like they're only playing for the high hands.
Yeah,
So,
people just want to see a flop.
yeah,
and
just
they're
want to see
folding
a
right away.
flop. Here is different.
We were one of the first to change the timer rules slightly. You would tell if someone was like looking around the room, seeing what the next hand was, see if the clock ended, and then all of a sudden there was maybe 4 aces up there, and they're sitting there with 4 6s, and they're waiting for that period to end. And congratulations, 4 aces. Oh, I have 4 6s. And they said, okay, that's not fair. We want the hand that was dealt in that period to be the hand that gets the payout. So we instituted a 5-minute kind of just a overtime period where any hand that started in that previous period has a chance to play out. We're able to review it and make sure every chance we get, the correct hand gets paid out. There are going to be people that are here just to play for high hand. That's great. A lot of times they're going to be chasing, trying to hit quads, and the guy that flopped the straight is just going to take their money and thank him for chasing.
Yeah, I see myself actually giving a lot of action trying to chase a high hand. So it's good.
In limit games, you're going to get the odds.
Yeah.
But people think limit players hit all the high hands. It's disproportionate. I mean, it is what it is. We might only have 1 limit game and 8 no limit games. But at the end of the day, everyone has the same shot. And if you want to have fun with the limit players, just have a seat with them and race pre-flop, and they'll let you know how they feel.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good way to make friends and alienate people.
So we see here at the end of the month, it's a 100K guaranteed mega rush in Daytona. Tell us something about that.
So the Mega Rush is going to be the big multi-day event for Daytona. they're excited about having another multi-day event there. We can't take everything from them when we're doing our events in Orange City. I'm actually waving at poker manager Joe LaRosa, who's visiting us today from Daytona. But that's just another creation of Byron, trying to have another fun multi-day tournament. I know you'll go over the chip stacks and the blinds and stuff later for everybody. We don't want to overwhelm you with the info, and that is a great time for me to bring up our website and our social media, because you can easily find all our information, whether it's Orange City Poker.com. We're also on X, and we were adding you guys to our X and Instagram and all that too. And I think Byron was offended you guys weren't following him, so you might want to do that. Yeah,
so it goes both ways. Byron just followed us today.
That's because he said, "Where do I find these?"
Yeah. So then we followed him right back and then reshared something.
Like even when we're on,
we had no idea he was on there.
Well, even when we're live streaming a final table from Daytona, I'm always like, join us on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live to watch this, but then find us on Instagram and this, and the content's just getting bigger and more. And I update our Bravo, so you look on Bravo Live, you can see if there's a spelling error, then it's mine, but I catch them all. I take pride in that. But there's so many ways to get your information. If you want to know what's going on, it's literally at your fingertips. And when you come in here, we hit you with flyers. You're bombarded. I have your ship it in deep stack flyers all over the place. I might as well tape one on my back. And the fall deep stack stuff, we started with 4 racks. Oh, yeah. Literally, we had every event and every satellite and all. And it's kind of sad because it's been such a great event. But that table we're looking at over there, every day has gotten a little bit thinner. Now it's down to 1 rack because we only have a few events left. And a month ago, I was thinking, this is a daunting task. We have 20-something events, 10 trophies. This is going to be crazy. When Moneymaker comes, it'll probably be 40-something events. That's a lot of flyers because you want to give people the info. Yeah. I'm a guy that grabs a flyer and goes, okay, if I were to have lunch with my wife and wanted to come play and I can't make it to level 5, what's my chip stack going to be? Is there value there? How long can I register till? Those are the things that people want to know, and you have access to that. And that's the most common question you get from someone. How late can I get in? Yep. How many blinds will I have at level 10? It's right here. Yeah. That information is so pertinent. I go in some other rooms, you almost have to pull teeth to find out. And I'm not, bad-mouthing my friends and competitors. But, hey, I just want to know. I'm one of those guys that asks a lot of questions, so I know the answer. I want to be that guy.
Yeah. One thing we talked about before, like pretty consistently in the beginning of our podcast, was like how social media and technology has changed, especially at the poker scene. You got the content creators that would record hands. Now there's the podcast.
You had my buddy Kyle was with you guys. I love Kyle Fischel.
We had Kyle on stream.
Fischel. Hello world. That's my buddy.
Who's big on YouTube. So it's it's interesting how social media and content creation has changed poker in general. So it's like you mentioned, if you want to learn about Orange City's upcoming tournaments or Daytonas, you've got Poker Atlas, you've got Bravo, you've got Twitter. I mean, it's crazy how many different resources you can get information now.
Absolutely, and we try our hardest to have it available to you in hand if you walk in the room and find a place online. A lot of work goes into getting all that creativity-wise. It's not as easy as, hey, print out a flyer. We want to make sure it has the right information. We look really hard at the dates and make sure it's going to make sense. I know a room once was scheduling a ladies tournament and during a series, and it happened to fall on Mother's Day, and I chuckled. That's like the dumbest thing you can do in the whole world. You're going to make all the moms miss dinner with their families because they want to play their tournament in a ladies event. So you have to be conscientious, and you have to really put thought into it. Every player, everybody comes from some different background and has something in their life that's important. You have to offer enough and enough variety to include everybody, and that's part of our goal. We have the older than Moneymaker event. I'm not that old. Maybe we'll have the Ryan age event or something. If you're 45, we'll put a bounty on you. If you're handsome too, that makes it better.
One of these
I'm here
tournaments.
To make Xavier uncomfortable.
No.
One of the tournaments you guys got coming up has a unique structure, which is the 100K Almighty Stack. Tell us, what was the thought in creating that?
Byron's had the idea for a long time to do a huge stack. Every tournament you see is deep stack, mega stack, gigantic
for our
stack.
audience, what's the huge stack? Tell them.
Well, everyone, like I said back in the day, everyone used to only get 5,000 or 10,000 chips to start a tournament. The first tournament I played in Florida in my life, I got 1,500 units. It was 20-minute blinds. And that was common, though. You paid $45 because that was what was allowed.
Sounds like a house tournament.
Yeah, so when you said, you know what, we want to give you more chips, what can we do next? It was just a matter of time. The World Series this year was 60,000, I believe, for the main.
With two-hour
exactly,
levels. It's crazy.
Exactly, and people still lose in level 1. You solved that one. You got to be creative too, because sometimes it can be silly. But Byron for a long time was like, how do we do this next thing? So we started our normal tournament series, or our normal daily tournaments here. We had just a 10,000 stack, $100 buy-in, whatever. And we said, let's add something to Thursday. And I said, well, let's try a double stack turbo. What does that mean? We'll give them 20K and we'll make it a turbo. That was really successful. People really liked it. We were getting constantly 70, 80 people in it. What can we do next? On Mondays, let's have a triple stack turbo. Okay, 30,000 chips. What's next? Well, we had the deep stack series here. We had this. Byron said, I got it. 100,000 stack. It's called the Almighty Stack. Now the question is what the trophy looks like. I've had some people tell me the eyesore, the I4 eyesore, something a big. I was thinking like one of those coin pushers where they drop the coins and you push it. Something with
like
chips.
an arcade, one of those.
Yeah,
things.
a substantial chip stack because 100,000
be-
chips is a lot, and you know you want to have fun with it, but you don't want it to be ridiculous. I don't think you'll be 100,000 big blinds deep. The levels might start where normal like level 6 or 7 is. Yeah. But you have to be creative. You have to be innovative. It might be the best tournament we ever ran, or it might be a dud. We don't know. But if you don't know, you don't try, and we're willing to take those risks.
So this is going to be a $250 buy-in, 100,000 starting stack, which is crazy, and then 30, 40-minute levels.
So it's a 30
Correct, so-
minutes, day 1, 40, day 2?
So what Byron does is we do 30 minutes for day 1, 40 minutes day 2, and then when chips are this high and you get heads up, it can be a long grind. So we go back to 30 on heads up, and I've commentated a heads up match where I said this might take 6 or 8 hours. Both guys are 50, 60 deep because there's too many chips in play. Sometimes you get to the final table a little quicker than you predicted. Maybe there was a big way all in or something right before a money bag or something, and that happens, and that you have to be able to adjust on the fly. But that is going to be the almighty stack.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Charlie's watching himself, and he's very happy with the concept. I see he took the Orange City hat off, kind of fake. If you ask me, we'll deal with it.
He's representing his Mets.
He's got headphones in. He's middle of the hand, so I don't know what he's thinking about right now. Snap
So
call.
when does that? I know you said it's on the way. When is that coming? Because I want to.
Almighty
I may
Stack
never
is
touch that
the-
1 milli chip, so I want to see it. In
Almighty Stack is going to be the second weekend in November. I believe it's like the 14th through 17th. And the plan is to live stream that final table. There's going to be a lot of chips in play.
Well, when does it enter this building? Because we want to see it in advance.
So Richard, the
chip
poker
itself.
manager, who's 10 feet away, signed the proof this morning and
Okay.
shipped it off. It is a Saturday, and not every industry works on Saturday, but they're going to make that chip for us. And believe it or not, the person that made our chips, we have innovative chips in our room that a lot of rooms don't have yet. He actually came overseas and visited with us and talked about the process for making them, and patenting and copyrighting chips is a very big deal. Everyone wants to have the best chips. He takes a lot of pride in them, and our chips are going to hold up. A lot of people have complimented us with our new tournament chips. I believe you guys took some pictures and posted them.
We got some content of tournament chips. I remember when this room first opened, and just how vibrant the cash game chips were. I mean, it almost looked like little toys. Like they were so bright.
Like
but
Skittles when you saw them on the table.
yeah,
like
no,
the
they really
rainbow.
did. It looked like candy. But there was nothing better than building up a chip stack, posting pictures, and people are like, "Those are nice chips." Like, I mean, people would comment all the time because that was the thing to do: post your chip stack.
I'm thoughtful enough to pick up a set of chips whenever they come out. So we've had, I think, 3 editions. So I grab like a red, yellow, and blue for $8 because that's about a souvenir I can afford. My favorite chip right now is our new $100 chip, and it's got the really nice light blue and the yellow. And I'm a Michigan fan. Don't hate me. And I love that chip, but that's an expensive souvenir to keep.
That's
And if-
expensive, yeah.
I was in Vegas
still
on my
won't lose its
first trip.
value.
Yeah, my first ever trip in Vegas. I was playing at the Palms, and my buddies were rushing over to the Wynn to play a tournament. And they said, color up. So I told the dealer, color me up. And they gave me 1 yellow chip. And I had never held a 1,000 chip before. And I put it in my pocket. And the whole cab ride, my hand was glued to my side. The end of the roll would have been this yellow chip rolling out of my pocket. So every day, can we go back to the Palms, please? Can we go back so I can cash this in? That's actually a true story.
I've found a chip in a taxi before.
it is.
Hector's laughing because he knows, but it was a.
Did you put it on black?
Well, I put it somewhere. Let's put it this way. Long story short, we were leaving the shootout, which we ended up cashing. Went from the Rio to the Venetian, and in the back seat there was a $100 Caesars chip. All right, so we stopped at Caesars, ended up cashing the chip.
You didn't
Then
get it?
Well, we did.
story gets better.
Then I ended up going. I can't believe I'm sharing this story live, but we ended up going from the Venetian to
people very comfortable.
Caesars to the Venetian, and we sit at the Baccarat arena. We're waiting for a Corona, and we're gonna bet $1 and $5 Baccarat hands. I'll spare you the details, but about $2,300 later. Yeah, long story short, we lost a lot of money, and we didn't even stay long enough to get the Corona. So
Now we offer one card, so we can make that experience a lot quicker and more painful for you.
I try to stay away from
wanna
that
play
side of the
war.
room.
Those are funny how those Vegas stories do pop up. Another quick one, since you said that one, as I was playing roulette my first time in Vegas.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
We went out to play the Wynn Classic in 2008, and I'd never played roulette live before. So here I am, a sicko in Vegas with cash in my pocket for a tournament, but I'm at the roulette table, and my buddy walks by and he goes, "Hey, Ryan, black 20." And I look at the dealer. She's like, "Yeah, go ahead," because the ball was already rolling, or whatever the term is. So I toss her a green chip, she puts it on black 20, and it hits for 875, and that's great. And my buddy's like, "You won that because of me." I'm like, "That's cool. That's awesome." He goes, "We're going to play Caesars tonight. You're going to buy me in," which was like a 150 buy-in. I was like, "Yeah, that's reasonable. Okay." Well, we catch up at Caesars a few hours later. He's like, "Hey, you're going to buy me in?" I was like, "Can I borrow 1,000? What are you talking about?" Well, I went with the wrong example, wrong guy to go learn how to play blackjack at the MGM Grand. And those lessons were very expensive. And I was in the hole. And yeah, that black 20 is a great story, but he never got his buy-in. I actually did get put in that Caesars tournament and chopped it. And he was the bubble boy, so it was kind of fun. But that's how fast things can happen in Vegas. And that's supposed to stay in Vegas, Xavier, by the way.
Yeah.
That's not a good story.
No.
Your views just shot up. They're like, "Oh, look at DGen stories." We got a bunch of sickos on stream.
Those always get good comments on.
Sickos. The most expensive Corona you've ever had.
Yeah, that I didn't even get. I never even got it. That's the worst part.
There's a waitress walking around somewhere. What are these guys with these Coronas and these snap call shirts, whatever
Oh my
it is?
gosh, that was the
So
worst.
some people wear it. Some people saw the post. But tell us about this Moneymaker Tour stop that's coming to Orange City.
I can't be more excited. We've had 3 events with Moneymaker in Daytona now. I mean, they kind of blend in because they last for 2 weeks. It's great. We've known Chris Moneymaker a long time in Daytona and now Orange City. He used to come by and do like book signings and do like a one-night tournament and had a lot of fun. Great partner to work with. Tony Burns is a legend in Florida poker, marketing and other promotions and tournaments he's done. This Moneymaker Tour is the thing. Their biggest thing they want to do is get the average Joe a chance to play with big names and win a big prize. Because we all remember, as I said a minute ago, Chris Moneymaker won his 10K seat with $86. So they do satellites as low as $86. And you can get into their main, whether the main's an $1,100 or $1,500. And you can turn it into a 6-figure payday, which is great. When we did the last one in Daytona, the hope was we were going to do a split one between Orange City and Daytona. But if you know Florida, because you've driven on I-4, things don't get built fast in Florida. No. It could be a nightmare, weather and all the other setbacks. So
Yeah,
we had to do
I work in construction, so I know.
Yeah, that's his fault. We had to do a Moneymaker only in Daytona, and the plan was to do in both rooms. It was still a successful event. Kind of changed the schedule a little bit and confused some people. And, you know, that's part of the last-minute marketing strategy. How do we get the news out to everybody on social media? But to have one here, and I'm looking at Tim, who's already won 2 of these deep stack events. He's wearing a Moneymaker hat over here. And he was the first person I told this morning that when it was official. Joe, our poker manager from Daytona, is wearing the Moneymaker jacket right now. It's exciting to know we're going to have them here for the first time. And Tony and Chris have wanted to come to Central Florida. They know what the Orlando market is going to be like. They love the players around here because a lot of them go over to Daytona. The last stop, we started adding some mixed games in. And I can't officially talk about what games we're going to have, but we're going to have multiple days of 4-card or 5-card variants. My staff was a little apprehensive, but they realized these games aren't that bad. Take your time, pay attention, get the cards out, read the hands. You know, everything falls into place. You know, they got that confidence and that bravado now. I'm a dealer in a room that deals these big tournaments, but we've never done anything with Moneymaker that even came close to $700,000. This prize pool guarantees over the 10-day or 11-day period is going to be crazy. Make sure you look when it is announced for an Ultimate Mega Satellite package. That's our new trademark. We're always going to have these Ultimate packages. The final table will be live streamed. I'm hoping we'll have some other streamed events and have you guys join us. maybe do a cash game. All that's in the works. Our streaming table here will be capable of doing 4-card games. People love watching Omaha on TV. It's the most disgusting thing. And I try and teach new dealers, or I talk to players that are kind of new to poker. And what is the games? Well, we have limit games, we have spread limit games, we have no limit games, we have pot limit. Oh, pot limit, that doesn't sound that big. Pot limits are the most disgustingly big games you play. You think no limits, pot limit plays even bigger, it's crazy, and you're capped to what you can bet. We're very excited. I know Byron's mentioned something about 23 trophies, and we'll also include some Orange City GAPT trophies, so some of the events you'll get multiple. But that hardware is awesome.
And this runs from December 4th to the 16th. 700K in guarantees, 23 trophy events.
Absolutely, and then there'll be satellites to whatever our kickoff event is, and there'll be satellites to the main. And if there's any high rollers mixed in there, like an in-between the opening and main, that's kind of like a 4-figure event, we'll have some satellites into that. A lot of people love the satellites. I know a couple people playing this 1100 that might have spent about 1800 in satellites to get there, but all that small, short-handed experience, because when you play like a satellite or sit and go, it is like a final table.
Yeah.
And that gives you an experience that you don't really see a lot of sit and goes in Florida anymore. I wish they'd come back. So they spent the 1800, but it was an investment in themselves. Yeah. And I had one guy this morning who's sitting over there now with chips who told me, I guess I'll play that satellite. I said, yeah, get your run bad out of the way now. And he looked at me after about 5 minutes. He's like, oh, that's over. The run bad's out. And now we're 7 levels into this. And I don't know if you guys know, there's still like 2 levels of registration for this. Not that anyone in TV land or podcast land can get here in time, but if you got a jet or a helicopter, we don't really have a place to land it, but it's 1,100, 40,000 fresh stack. And I do believe they go on break at level 9. You can register. When you start level 10, you're still right at 20 bigs, which is just disgusting. So that's the state of deep stack poker in Florida, and it's not going to be any smaller with Moneymaker. They bring out my buddy Omar, who takes the best pictures.
Oh, Omar's great.
Yeah, he got me at the World Series this year when I wasn't paying attention. I wanted to fix my hat and adjust my shirt, but he got me. He's the opposite of Photobomb. He's like the photo ninja. But yeah, that whole crew's great. We love hanging out with them and having them here, and they love Central Florida.
I know Tony's a big UCF guy, which we're big UCF guys. So
he's a Florida native like me. There's not many of us, and we grew up loving poker. And he's doing great things. The Moneymaker Tour was in Aruba today. I saw Chris did a little post for us. They just came
that shot Omar had of the trophy on the beach. Did you see that? They did it like at sunset or something. That was super
and I
dope.
think Tiffany Michelle, who's a big name in poker, a few years back, her and Maria Ho were on the Amazing Race together. She was part of the Moneymaker Aruba thing, and then they were in Cincinnati, and they do Palm Beach stops here and there, but in Central Florida, it's Daytona and Orange City, and we love having them, and those trophies are sweet. People drive for these trophies. One of our big tournament players in Florida, the Raminator, Rami Singh, you might have seen him. If you look at our social media, he won 2 trophy events this week, and he was so excited to add these trophies to his collection. This guy, instead of Lifestyles Rich and Famous, he has like a whole trophy room. And I'm not talking like your 10-year-old has the karate trophy that's like 8 feet tall. This guy has shelves of trophies and guitars and all that stuff. And he's like, man, I can't wait to add this trophy to my mantle. He came in, he called, and I answered the phone. Hey, this Poker and Ryan, blah, blah. He goes, what time's the tournament registration through? I said, Rami, is that you? Yeah, Ryan, what's going on? I said, man, you come down, hurry up, you might win a trophy. And then he messaged me that night. He goes, you sicko, I won the trophy. And then in the morning he comes in, I'm like, congratulations. He won a second one. I mean, this guy just, he's a trophy collector. If you're in a hand with him, he's not bluffing. He's winning trophies.
And you had 2 people win back-to-backs, right? So Raminator and then...
This gentleman you're looking at wearing that Moneymaker shirt over there, Timmy, he did win 2 events also. So we had 10 trophy events, and 2 guys won 2 each. That's 40% of the events. And we're not done yet because this event is the main. That's event 9. And then tomorrow evening, tomorrow morning actually is the last chance. Yep, that's event number 10. I believe that's a 5K guarantee, 300 buy-in. I could confirm, and I should know that. Your tournament is the talk of the town tonight, though. I'm super excited. And let me ask you guys a couple questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
Are you both playing?
Oh, yeah, we'll both be in it.
Okay.
Is
Is there any kind of head hunting going on or any kind of like swag or bounty on you guys? Are you firstborn? What's the rules tonight?
We haven't announced it yet, but we do have these these little
announced.
Well, we'll say it now. We're saying it now. We have some bounty chips. I've got them in the bag over there.
Is it first blood or first to knock you out? Like no physical.
First. So if you knock us out, you'll get one of these chips, and then you can go
Not
ahead.
MMA style. This
No,
is
no, no.
Daniel Negreanu was famous for full contact poker. I don't
Yeah, you could basically take one of these chips that will pass out, come to our merch table, and then you can redeem that for some merch.
Oh, so I'm not allowed to play here, so I just bought my own.
Oh, no refund.
If my wife is
You can still get
watching,
into tournament.
please win a hat tonight. Knock one of these guys out.
But yeah,
Yeah.
You guys, push your chips in when she has the nuts, please.
we both going to be bounties and go for it. Come after us. We don't mind it.
We would love it. If Charlie still has a main event stack, hopefully he gets still late reg, but Charlie will also be a bounty, and then a couple of our other friends
Let
that are
me
going to
ask
be
you,
coming through.
what is it like having a thought of trying to reach out to us? We had a couple meetings. Obviously, we do work with other influencers, and you guys sold yourselves, and our team is ready to make a commitment to work with you. What's it like to now be at that time? I don't know if you're nervous, the butterflies, but you're hours away from your first ever actual tournament. How's that feel?
It's humbling.
Is it surreal?
You know, it's humbling. I mean, it's definitely surreal. We talked about it on the way here. You know, we had like
When was that? Because at 2:30 you leave your house.
it was
We
between
have a writer here. What time?
it
they
was
had
at between about 2:30 2:35. But you know, we had like a roadmap in place that basically said, you know, the ultimate goal, right? A year and a half from now is to be able to partner with specifically Orange City, because this is the room that we play in all the time, and then eventually down the line would love to be, you know, partners with their social media, partners with their marketing teams. The idea of doing the podcast on site has always been a dream. We would have never thought that we'd have a tournament named after us.
Are we going too fast? You want to slow down?
No.
Is this relationship a little okay?
Let's keep it going. That, you know, now we
I don't
have
mean to
like
make you
our
uncomfortable.
no, not exactly. So now when we talk like these trophy events, right? We talk about the GAPT, we talk about the Moneymaker. Now we have the Ship It in Deep Stack. We want to get to a point where it's like we have a little series because we want to get a little tournament statue or trophy as well to hand out. So there's definitely levels to it, but it's overall it's humbling. We're extremely grateful.
Are you in the moment? Or are you like, okay, when this is over, I'm gonna look back and think about it? What is it like when
so-
these situations occur for you?
Let's go back to the other question. Like, how do we feel about this tournament and stuff? We had sat down and talked and kind of had like a roadmap. Like, how cool would it be if we host our own tournament? Like, pretty much the Snap Call tournament, and obviously, you know, just expand from there. So when we had the opportunity, we couldn't believe it. We were just like, wow, this is, you know, we started kicking off the podcast in January, and 6-7 months down, we already had this partnership in place. So we couldn't, honestly, we were more than excited. Like,
You remember the very first meeting we had with you in that back corner in the other room. We went into that meeting.
They tried to buy me off, gave me a couple T-shirts.
We gave away all the merch. We talked
I
and
didn't
we
get
were
those
like,
shoes though.
hey, beforehand we all met the night before and we're like, okay, talking points, yada yada, and then like there's like a wish list at the bottom that said this is where we would love to be at some point, and this is where we love to be at some point, and then here we are. We would have never imagined it. So appreciative, humbling, but hungry. We are extremely hungry.
Disappointing when you get busted in the first level.
That'll
There's
happen.
always another one now.
If you see me at the merch table by like level 3, then you know I busted really
The
early.
good thing
tonight.
is that we're going to be able to bring this tournament to both rooms, which is very exciting because
We love that.
we have to share you guys.
Which we haven't announced just yet, but we might as well say it right now. So tonight's tournament, 6 p.m. here at Orange City. The next tournament is going to be taking place right there on November the 2nd at 6 p.m. So we haven't made it completely public just yet, but we are now going to be going from Orange
Put it on
City,
Bravo right after this.
and we're going to be going on the road. So on November the 2nd, we are going to be going down on I-4 to Daytona Beach, and then we're going to come right back here in December. So the opportunity to
for us-
partner is great.
The goal for us is to do it once a month, to have a cadence for the guests, because a lot of the players want to follow a schedule in their mind. Hey, what's happening this weekend? So doing it the first weekend of the month, you're going to be flexible. It's not really official, but we're probably going to be doing it on a Sunday in December. But that's just the way it's going to roll sometimes. And you know, we want to keep something going. We want it to build. I want to see Snap Call shirts. I want to see hats. I want to see these bounty chips. I'm excited for it, and it became organic, and it did happen a little bit quicker than I thought it would be possible to do, but it's awesome. You guys have done 2 podcasts live on site here. This is your 3rd. You're going to be doing a podcast in Daytona. You guys are filming some incredible content, and that's the thing I love, is that people just sometimes need 2 or 3 minutes of something fun to look at, and poker, and you know, talking about a hand, or I'm sure you guys will analyze whatever your bust, or if you happen to win. And I got no dog in the fight, but I mean, good luck to you. I hope our
Do a
regulars
little
crush you.
hand analysis
But,
on our. Yeah.
You know, that's awesome, because you need to have variety, and being able to have a tournament. And I envision you guys maybe doing an interview with a winner
Oh, yep. That's the
We
goal.
started doing some kind of player of the year system different. You guys could talk to them, and I introduced you, excuse me, to a poker Hall of Famer. That's a regular here, and that's Dewey Tomko. And I know you'll have him on the pod. Do we call it the pod? Is that the term?
I think that's what the kids call it.
The vlog. There's a lot of exciting things that are going to happen, and we're really excited to have it with you. And I'm excited about this first tournament. I'll watch the cards get in the air, and then I think my wife will come in and win the tournament. But hey, you guys, you'll have a chance. She puts her chips in play.
Let her know that we're bounties, so she can come after us.
Oh, she knows. a lot of people don't know she's the secret behind my success. She gave me the ideas. Let's talk real quick. I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, but Ship It In was not the first name for this tournament.
Oh, we had a lot of.
I know you
funny
guys
names.
are. I know you guys are going off the cuff here, but I'm not going to make fun of you. But Xavier was a little bit about the snap call deep stack with snap call, and I said, guys, we're going to go a little bit different than that.
I wish I had the list of what we were throwing around.
I don't want.
We had some funky ones.
I got them. Well, I have one I'm not going to share because I still feel like I'm going to use this idea and I'm ahead of my time. But there's one that was a little risque. It's coming soon. But we're like, we have a deadline here. We got to get something posted. And I'm thinking, these guys snap call. They don't really think. Because if you think long, you think wrong. So what are we going to do? We're going to ship it in. Thus, the Ship It In deep stack.
That was good.
I'm pretty excited about it for you guys. I have some merch ideas coming for you guys.
Love it.
I did tell them about the T-shirt with a vest on it, and on the back you just say I'm bulletproof. Aces. Big things are coming. And they'll have like a little Ryan Unger.
We're gonna have to sign you. We're gonna have to sign you.
Well, Sydney and I have worked together to come up with some of this merch. This is actually her idea. Okay. This one makes me look a little thinner. The blue zip-up one was my idea.
You have a smaller size?
Thanks, Xavier. They didn't have medium. Some of us have to shop in the adult section. Sorry, that gym membership pays off, but you actually have to go. Sorry, I told these guys I wouldn't take over their show. But that's something we also got into this year, and you guys have a great merchandise table over here, and I'm excited to see your stuff, is we decided, hey, we need to get our stuff out. And as an operator, and I've been a poker player for 20-something years, when I was in Vegas the first time and saw a Daytona Beach T-shirt, I was excited. Daytona Beach Racing and Card Club. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. So then I started, when I go out, I'd bring some patches for Orange City or Daytona. If I see someone that I know, I don't solicit, but hey, got a patch, whatever, and some people are happy to wear it. But now I see our hoodies. I played in a tournament north of us, another room, and I'm playing sitting across from a guy, and I felt bad taking his chips wearing one of our new Orange City hoodies. And I'm like, this is awesome. We're taking over the world, starting with Florida. But that's exciting. Having people play on our live streams is great. The interviews usually you guys are going to do, building up the fan base between both of us is going to be great. But I envision a Snap Call Orange City collaboration, someone wearing a patch of each, being at a main event final table, and
love that.
us going from thousands to millions of followers, because people want to go where the fun is.
Yeah,
and you guys are bringing energy. You got these two guys who are behind the scenes. I know you were on the stream last week. Your other buddy over here, I mean, he definitely is the gym member in the group.
The voice, we call him the voice.
I mean, I feel like he could stop right now and do a yoga lesson or some Pilates. I mean, he's
Actually
ripped.
play soccer 6 days a week. So.
Soccer 6 days?
Literally, yeah.
So does my daughter. It's true. My daughter has a six-pack but loves candy, and I said, honey, you're not blessed with the genes. You stop playing soccer, it's not going to work. So
He's a military guy too, so he.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit up straight. I'm
That's why
definitely
we got him on the merch table.
Can you mute any of this that was disrespectful? It's appreciative
we'll
for
edit
his
it out.
service.
We'll edit it out.
No,
Right.
it's great. I'm so happy that you guys are here. I know Byron can't jump on the pod because he's leading a tournament with now 100 entrants.
I love it.
So I'm having to guess. I don't want to shout across the room, but our prize pool has to be somewhere in the 220s, which is great for our first ever four-figure tournament in Orange City. And don't forget, the hurricane, and hope everyone's safe, really affected the start of this tournament series. We weren't sure if we could run the kickoff event because A, you want to make sure your staff can make it safe, and B, are your players going to make it safe? And, one thing that happened a few hurricanes back is we were one of the places in town that had electricity with a big generator, and people just came, even if they weren't playing, they came in to eat and just get AC. So we said, hey, if the roads are safe and we can open, we'll open. But the tournament series kind of started funky because of that. And I know there's a lot of people at home and
Actually,
across the state still
actually
suffering.
text Sydney and told her,
We're like, hey, is it still going?
hey, is it still going?
Yeah.
And because of that, because of the hurricane, it was like, could be closed.
A lot of our friends and neighbors that deal and operate rooms on the other coast of Florida, our hearts go out to you and our thoughts. We hope it recovers quickly, and then, there might be something brewing in the Gulf now. And that's the reality of living in Florida. And, as a native Floridian, we're used to it. Sometimes we overlook it, but you always want to be prepared, knowing that as long as I can make it here safe, the building's standing and we will have air conditioning and a product and, people want to play poker. So, as long as it's in good taste, we're always going to have it. So this series may be a little bit off what we would originally had if the storm hadn't come. But that's part of the data set you'll know after our 5th and 6th series. But by Moneymaker, it doesn't matter. We're going to be bursting at the seams. People are going to want to come meet Chris. I'll give you one zinger about Chris, and you guys want to get me out of here, you can. Chris Moneymaker won the main event in 2003. The minimum age in Las Vegas to play a poker tournament is 21 years old. Last year, Chris was going to do a cash stream in Daytona, and I was doing the commentary, and I went out and I shook his hand. I said hello to everybody on the stream, and I always do the same speech. If you guys talk a lot, I'll shut up. If you guys are having fun, great. If you're not, I'm going to needle the crap out of you. People at home want to hear you, not me. And I said, by the way, Chris, how's it feel that this is the first year that a player playing the main event was born the year you won it? And he looked at me and he was pissed. He did not have nice things to say. He turned red. I tried to change subjects on the fly. I said, Chris, don't slow roll anybody. And then he slow rolled Tony or someone later in the night. But 21 years ago, Chris Moneymaker, we wouldn't be here today if it's not for the folks Dewey, Tomko, Doyle Brunson, Chris Moneymaker. I know a lot of people do take that for granted, but this was a backroom game. Women weren't playing, and it was old guys with cigars and visors. And, look at this now. It's bright. It's clean. Nice chips. You're not smelling like cigarette smoke. This is what we've always wanted. Now it's here. Yeah. And
we're excited
events
for this expansion, this partnership, and everything. Don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you got to get back to work. Thanks again for being on this podcast and breaking down all the upcoming series. And hopefully you stick around for our tournament that starts at 6.
I'll do the cards in the air for you guys, maybe get the the pipes rolling. But no, guys, it's great to have you. I look forward to seeing you. Even when you're in Daytona, come visit. Absolutely. If you're at home and you're not following them, they'll give you all info. But follow us also, orangecitypoker.com. We got Instagram. We got Facebook. We got X. We got it all. Come see us. Chat at us. This guy actually is going to get some access to some of that, so I can thank you for chatting.
Thank you.
And if I'm ever on stream, I always have one question I ask on stream. It's like, can you say hi if you're not a bot? So it's turned into a thing now. We might get a shirt made. It's like, I'm not a bot. Because usually there's 400 people on the stream or 200. Let's not exaggerate. And there's 4 people talking. It's my mom and the other guest's mom. My mom doesn't know poker, but she'll say, hey, what is this? I don't know. Who are you guys inviting over next?
So Hector's going to jump back on. We're going to talk a little bit about...
I'm going to go to your merch table. You better send a scout over to keep an eye on things.
And then we'll talk sports.
Guys, be good.
Ryan, thanks,
so much,
man.
Here comes Hector. All right, so Hector is back. Hector, so you've been out there at the merch table.
Yes.
You've been kind of being able to chat with the people among the room. What's the buzz like out there with everything going on?
The buzz is everyone is focused for this 1100 main event. You try to get some conversation going, and they're still just thinking about the hands that just transpired.
Hey, you want to do a video? I just had my shit cracked.
Yeah. So it's
I have pocket kings and the flop was an ace.
Exactly. So it's so the conversation part is not the highest right now. But
What's
that's
your favorite hand? Not ace king.
Everyone is focused right now, which just shows you that these are card players here. You know what I mean? So it's good to see everybody's packed. The room is packed and it's fun. So shout out to Ryan. I mean, that was awesome seeing him work and getting all that info and an inside look into what Orange City's doing.
It comes naturally for him.
Yeah.
He's definitely a good marketing guy.
Yeah. So I had a lot of bullet points that I was going to talk about, but I think he went over them all. Yeah. So.
But
yeah.
Lead us into our tournament. Hector, tell us about it.
Sure. So let's see what I had. So I wanted to recap what's happening with the fall deep stack for Orange City. So they've had 9 events so far. In those 9 events, as Ryan alluded to, event 1 and event 5 was taken down by Tim. So he beat 403 entrants for the kickoff of 100K guarantee, taking down 24K. And he won the seniors event the very next day, beating out 48 entries. I mean, that's just nuts. Then going into event 2, we had a PLO event, and Mike S won, beating 54 players.
Mike S, the legend, by the way.
Yeah.
You come here for a cash game PLO, he typically has the largest stack at the table. So no one's surprised that Mike won. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, I definitely remember the chat going crazy, but like, yeah, this guy, legend.
Of course, this guy.
Event 3, mixed PLO, Chad Y beat 41 players for 4K up top. Event 4 was Preston M. He won the $300 black chip bounty, winning $2,500 and 3 bounties on top of that. There were 61 entries there, so people really like that tournament. So it definitely had more runners than the norm. Event 4 was event 6 and 7. He won the $300 black chip bounty, winning
Real quick,
$2,500
I need to throw this out there just because I just saw he wrote in the chat and I didn't see it before. Ryan Slocum, one of our buddies out of Michigan, who we had a chance to connect with in one of our previous podcasts, was in the chat. So thanks for stopping by, Ryan. I hope all is well. We do need to catch up with Ryan. He was keeping us updated on his WSOP journey. So appreciate the shout out, Ryan.
Yeah. So Raymander, was that how you say his name? I'm always.
They're the Raminator.
Raminator, is that it? Is it okay? Yeah, I knew I was butchering that. I'm sorry, but deep stack specialist. He won the monster stack, 61 entries, 36 for 3,600, and then he won the deep stack no limit the very next day for another 4K with 41 entries.
It is not easy to win a tournament half the time, and this guy won 2 out of 10 trophy events. Like,
it's crazy that there's 2 people who won 2 events. That just shows you the caliber of player that is here.
Come through to the Ship It in Deep Stack, Raminator.
Yeah.
Love to have you.
Yeah. Just don't take it down. No, let me do that.
I'm all right.
Let me do that. All right. Tammy E. So we had a woman win. She beat 53 players in the monster stack for 3,200. So I'd love to see that. And then event 9 is going on right now. This is the third day 1. Third day, yeah, right. This is the final flight.
This is the final flight of the
final flight
event.
for day 1. They passed the guarantee. We have 103 entries currently.
So Ryan said the prize pool should be just north of $220,000 now, which is awesome when you think about this being the largest event that this room is hosting since it's ever, really, but especially since its expansion. So kudos to the room.
Yeah.
The tournaments here are just going to continue to get bigger.
Yeah, I mean they're over. I want to say they smashed the guarantee at this point. So good for them.
20K over.
I want to say they've hit every guarantee. There was no overlays in any of them.
Yeah, I think they did.
Yep. So day 2 for the main event is tomorrow, where they'll close this out, and then there's also the last chance $300 10K guarantee tomorrow as well. And those are the 10 events for the fall deep stack. Don't forget that there is the Ship It In Deep Stack. If you haven't heard, I
don't think we've mentioned it.
I hope this is the first time you guys are hearing it, and I'm not blowing my own horn. But in 43 minutes, the Snap Call podcast is going to be hosting a tournament here in our city. So come on out.
But I will say this. We mentioned it before, but we didn't show the graphic when you were up. But we'll show it again. Our tournament on November the 2nd, so this will be a monthly tournament, is going to be shifting gears and going to Daytona.
Yes.
So lots of people play in this room in Daytona, and then a lot of people from here play in Daytona as well. So it's going to be great to see basically what we consider the local community playing at both locations. Excited to be able to put the tournament on the road and go down the street and play in a different venue.
Yeah.
We've played the most poker in our careers in both of these rooms, so it's going to be really cool to take it back to what we would consider, kind of our homeroom, essentially.
Yeah, it's going to be cool to finally, I guess, set up the podcast over there. Of course, we've gone over there and talked to people behind the scenes, but, it'll be the first podcast that we're having over there as well.
We will have a live podcast before that. It's going to be, it hasn't been officially, I guess, announced just yet, but it's going to be November the 16th. And then our second podcast over there will be our first tournament over there, which is going to be our 5K guarantee Ship It In Deep Stack tournament.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, the room's busy. I think at the end of level 9, I think, is when the final or late registration ends for the main event. Charlie, our buddy, is over there. Can't see his chip stack, but he was just stretching. I thought he busted, so hopefully he's just doing some stretching.
Yeah, no, he's still in. He's still in. So yeah, definitely talked to a couple people that were on the 1100 that were on break, and they definitely were like, hey, if I'm still in it, then obviously not. But if I do bust, I will be chopping in to the ship it in.
Love it.
And that's what that was the whole plan.
Love it.
So great to see.
Let's hope in about 40 minutes there's about 50 all-ins, and then we'll smack that 5K guarantee and play some poker here shortly. So.
Okay, so there was the second, just in poker news in general, there was the second largest bad beat jackpot where they won $2.2 million at playground poker. So what do you guys think about that one?
I mean, we've talked about on stream before what we liked more, the high hands or the bad beat jackpots, because we grew up playing in the bad beat jackpot era.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Literally, we grew up playing, when we started playing, it was the bad beats, 100K, 200K. Just seeing that number keep going up in the room it's exciting. But honestly, for me, I personally like the high hands better just because
Agreed.
the odds of you hitting a bad beat are like slim to none compared to hitting the high hand.
I'll never forget. So you remember at the Hard Rock when the poker room was right behind the food court?
Yeah.
I'll never forget when that bad beat was like 200K plus something, and you had to wait an hour and a half to get a seat because everyone and their mom was trying to hit that thing. I feel like, the high hands and the bad beat jackpots in general are always going to induce action, but there's nothing like a poker room where the bad beat jackpots that high. I can only imagine at 2.2 million or whatever it was. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. There's nothing better than playing in a poker room with a ton of actions. Rutgers losing 7-0.
And Bam is losing.
I do remember a
Bam was
time.
losing to Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I do remember a time when there was a bad beat and a high hand at the same time, and I was like, man, this rake is kind of high.
That's good.
That's all I remember. But I completely agree. I enjoy the high hands way more. And I enjoy when going to different poker rooms and seeing them do it in different ways. Showing their own personality on it, as long as they're doing it right. And you feel like you're getting value and not getting gypped.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely ones that are like $100. Like, get out of here.
Yeah. So we got about 10 minutes or so left on stream. I do definitely want to talk about tonight's game beforehand. So if you don't mind, we're going to tag you out, bring this guy on right now.
Hey.
So we're going to bring Fernando on to do some sports talk for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to
wrap it up and
kinda
get
wrap
ready
it
for
up.
the
Yeah.
ship it in.
So anybody is looking for me, I am at the merch table. Come say hi. Come hang out. Have a beer.
Beer's on him.
Go play some cards. Get me a beer. I'll be there. I'm gonna be here all day. And I appreciate it.
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks, Hector. All right, so we are bringing Fernando on to talk a little bit about sports, and I'll kind of run through this topic. All right, Fernando. So we can cover a couple games from last week really quickly. Let's kind of do a 1 minute little turbo discussion.
The ones that we botched.
The ones that we botched and our history was made, of course. So Ice, real quick, Bama, Georgia. Overall thoughts on that game?
Surprising the start Bama had. I didn't think Bama was going to dominate Georgia like that to kick off the game. And then what Georgia did in the second half, came back from deficit of 20 plus to take the lead. And then, Jalen Murrow throws to 17-year-old Ryan Williams for 70-something yards for the game-winning touchdown was insane. Like, if you're an Alabama fan and you're at that game in Tuscaloosa and you are there for that play, that stadium must have been nuts. Like,
it's funny. The only thing I'll mention about this game was we all had Georgia winning, right? But we know it's gonna be a close game regardless. We all had Georgia winning. But what's more exciting, seeing your team whoop up on a rival, or seeing your team give up the lead and then watching that play? Because that play to Ryan Williams is gonna go down in Bama Georgia rivalry history.
Ryan Williams was hitting ballet on these defenders.
Yeah, I was gonna say
17.
he was making
Add it up. That's 17.
he was making these Georgia Bulldog defenders look like Pee Wee football.
He hit him
Like-
with the spin move, the little tap dance back to sideline. Like,
It's insane.
Unreal.
That's there's we're obviously all UCF fans up here. Man, there's nothing like SEC football sometimes, man. Like, those crowds are insane.
This is Ryan Williams when he scored that touchdown.
Yeah.
That NIL money is gonna go crazy next
I
year.
think there was one like little fact about Georgia. I think every fourth down they went for, they converted, which is outstanding. It just
SEC football.
came up short.
You run the ball.
All right, real quick, UCF versus Colorado. The only thing I'm going to mention about this game is UCF had all the momentum in the world. We have a chance. We still have a chance, but we had the chance to put a stranglehold on the Big 12, the biggest game of the year outside of the Florida game. That's tonight. We dropped the ball.
Yeah.
I mentioned it on stream. Our secondary does not look good. Shador tore us up, even though we got a pick on that first drive. We should have made adjustments, and our gripe with Gus has always been he cannot make adjustments in game. Very, very disappointing. That's all I'm going to say about that game.
And I mean, they shut our run game down too.
Yeah, I was at the game personally.
Did you leave early? Don't lie.
I left at the end of the third, but we had Fox Noon kickoff there, and it was packed. So a lot of UCF alumni, current student, and fans showed out, which is huge. Because, back in the day, you would walk on UCF campus, you see more Florida Gators or Miami shirts.
That was tough.
So now, and then also when we went to the game, there was 90% was UCF fans. Like, there wasn't a lot of Colorado fans, which it's big as far as being a UCF fan. You can see, like, the fans are caring for the team. But they did disappoint. We picked off Shador, and then we threw a pick. And honestly, Gus Malzahn, I've been saying it, I don't like his play calling. There's a lot of other stuff he does as far as recruiting, getting SEC talent to our team. But play calling, it's not his forte. I don't like it. I've been a big fan and let him go, get Frost back. But overall, it's disappointing because we lost to Colorado, which we should have beat. And then we going into Florida, and I'm not going confident into this game. Just for what I saw last week.
Well, Florida hasn't been playing great, but yeah.
And they still have the SEC trenches, which are the D-line and O-line.
Yeah.
And Colorado stopped our run, and that's not good. R.J. Harvey should not be stopped at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you guys sign off stats.
I was gonna say, to go to his point against Florida, UCF needs to get back to what we've been doing pretty good, is running the ball.
Yeah.
We got Harvey, Jefferson, and boom. We need the Cerberus or the Trident to get back in there.
What quick outside of the topics we have? What do you thought about Xavier Townsend?
I think he's a quitter.
Thank you.
He's a quitter. I don't care. You don't suffer that type of defeat and then go enter the portal right away, because if UCF beat Colorado and then we're going to Florida the next week. You don't basically say, thank you, UCF fans. Thanks for the support. I'm going to go enter my name in the portal. He's quitting on the program.
He's going to take this year as a red shirt. Honestly,
It's weak.
I will tell him, like, hey, we ship your stuff to wherever you're at. Like, don't even come back into the locker room.
It's weak. I think he sees, like, oh, I'm not going to win a conference championship with this team, which means that we won't have a chance to go to the national championship. So let me prepare myself for next year and go to a bigger school. I think it's weak. You're quitting on the team. We could still win the conference. You know what I mean? Just really upsetting. Obviously, one of our weapons, he's a quitter. Right?
Yeah, we lost one game.
He's a quitter.
And I get it. Everybody got to look out for themselves. But one game, like, obviously, we know KJ Jefferson is in the future. We know that for sure. This is one and done. Hopefully, we can recruit, get a freshman in, sit back and get somebody else transfer, and then maybe our receiving core will get better. But what Xavier Townsend did is. That was pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm not about that. One more question for the group before we kind of wrap things up here, because we got about 5 minutes of time. We mentioned last week Davante Adams, right? This guy is gonna end up probably requesting a trade,
Yeah,
right?
lo
He
and
formally requested a trade. He's not playing tomorrow because he's gonna get better, but we know that he's probably staying healthy for an upcoming trade.
I think he was listening to our podcast. So
Yeah.
you know what? I need to listen to these guys.
I don't blame him. With that said, predictions right here, right now. Davante Adams gets traded at this point in the season, now or later. Where do you think Davante Adams? We already know what you're going to say. But bias out us. Take your bias out of it. Where is Davante Adams going to go?
If I'm Davante Adams, I will go.
No. That's not what I asked, because we know you're gonna mention a quarterback he's played with.
No. If I'm
He doesn't have a choice. Where's he going?
Baltimore Ravens or Dallas Cowboys, I would like to see him as a New York Jet, because we need a wide receiver one to complement Gary Wilson. But I don't know. I just see him going more to the Ravens or the Cowboys.
For me, I'll say, and like no bias, but the obvious, the Jets because of Aaron Rodgers, but also I can see him with the Saints because of Derek Carr. I think they used to be a college roommate or teammates, and also the Steelers. Potentially go to the Steelers as well.
Yeah, if I'm Devontae Adams, I won't touch the Steelers. They don't have a quarterback, and he's going to be the same frustration he's going to be in.
I mean, he's going to go to the highest bidder, right? Whoever gives the team the most is
Well,
who he's going to go.
I think his contract's like no matter what, the team's going to end up cutting him or restructuring the deal because I think his back end like $30 million or something like that.
I mean, if he has no say, if he has a say, obviously he's going to do Saints or he's going to do Jets, right? Want to play with a quarterback he's familiar with. Saints outside of the last game, they looked really good offensively for the first couple weeks. Obviously, you go to the Jets, you know what you're getting with the rapport you already have with Aaron Rodgers. My original prediction was going to be the Chiefs. It's not going to go to the Chiefs because they already got like a crazy cap, and then you're also you're trading him within the division. The Raiders aren't going to want to play Devontae Adams twice a year. That's just not going to happen. If I had to pick a team that he's going to go to, I'm going to throw this out there. I could potentially see the Rams. They got some injury-prone receivers, okay? But when you have a guy that can sling it 5,000 yards a game or a season, right?
That'd be crazy. Puka and Devontae.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, you already think Cooper and Puka, right? But at the same time, they're always hurt, right? So you got to have a good weapon. You can't waste Stafford's last couple of years of his career. And then my other prediction would be the Saints to go play with Derek Carr. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't see him going to the Jets. I could definitely see it happening, but I don't necessarily see him going to the Jets. But you never know.
I hope he does, but I don't see either. Just because if I'm him, I wouldn't go to a team that. How likely are we to have Aaron Rodgers for 2 years? This might be his last year. Next year might be his last year. So then Devontae's going to be in the same.
Jimmy Hart.
yeah.
Devontae's going to be literally. Devontae's going to be in the same position looking for a quarterback.
Yeah. All right. So a quick recap, Ro, now, just of what's going on in college sports before we wrap it up. Bama down 20-7 to Vanderbilt.
Jesus.
2-3 Vanderbilt. What is this team? 2-2 Vanderbilt team. Bama after y'all were destroying Georgia. It makes no sense. You go to number one and now you're losing.
Get grounded.
Missouri got absolutely walloped by Texas A&M earlier today. But yeah, predictions. We're gonna end it on a prediction tonight for the UCF Florida game. What's your score prediction?
I got Florida 31-17.
Florida beating UCF?
Yeah.
Florida Gators
beating
playing
UCF.
Gainesville.
Yes.
They're going to beat UCF 31-17.
The same UCF
They've scored 31 points out all this season?
Nope. But I saw UCF pass game last week, and it's not good.
Remember, we are up against history every single week. we are literally up against, every single week it's like history making this, or first time ever this, first time ever that. Unfortunately, I mean, I want our Knights to win, but I see Florida taking it 2017 in a close game.
The disrespect I feel right now at this table.
It's my alma mater, just like y'all's, but
All right.
it's the Swamp at home in Florida. Bye week.
This is what
That's mine.
Byron got your bag?
Yeah.
They just probably bring it up. Oh, I don't know. My prediction for tonight's game, I don't necessarily seeing it close. I think this is kind of that spot we had last year when Oklahoma State came for the space game. And now, don't get me wrong, we're on the road. It's not a space game. But I think this is like a perfect bounce back for us. UCF travels well. We're going to travel well to Florida. I think there's going to be a lot more UCF fans there than they think. I got us winning 27-17. I think it's going to be a little bit more defensive, but I think we're going to ride RJ Harvey to a W. I think we're going to win by 2 scores.
Yeah. UCF proved me wrong, but you guys didn't show up last week. Now you're going night game at the Swamp. Show up.
We're
Gus
playing
Manzone, show
a
up.
long game, so that way next week we can get proven wrong. And we're like, hey, but it's UCF. So
We're down probably our best receiver.
No. Our best receiver is Kobe Hudson.
Yeah.
But it's going to be tough. But if we stick to the game plan, run KJ a little bit more than he probably needs to, but with everything else, all things said, we'll be good. But with that said, we are 27 minutes away from the snap call, ship it, and deep stack. just a quick update on the main event. This Flight C, has 105 entries. The late registration is still open. But with that said, guys, a couple things that we want to mention. As mentioned, our next podcast before a tournament will be November the 2nd. That's going to be our second Ship It and Deep Stack 5K at Daytona. The next actual podcast itself is going to be October 19th in Daytona. We'll be out there. That'll be our first podcast on site over there. So excited. Ohio is almost covering against Iowa. That's a good thing. Outside of that, any updates, any predictions for tonight? You taking this down?
Yeah, that's the game plan. Always confident. Obviously, got to hit the cards. But once again, thank everybody for coming out.
Let me interrupt you guys.
It's kicking up to 20 minutes.
First official tickets.
Oh, love it. We got.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Don't cry, Xavier.
Am I to his left?
You're good.
Oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
you got to seat one. He's terrible shape.
That's my favorite seat.
That's his favorite seat. That really is. All right, there you go. This is kind of history for us, and we love this. The Ship It In Deep Stack 5K guarantee right there. Absolutely love this. This is a cool little photo op. Excited.
On the Snap Call podcast.
Yes. So we are gonna wrap it up with that said. Come on down to Orange City. Ship It and Deep Stat starts in 26 minutes. Late registration is probably gonna run until about 9 p.m. or so. Merch table over here, hats and T-shirts by Hector, and Hector, you're predicting to take this tournament down. Is that right?
At least final table,
He's final table.
What is your prediction?
We are bounties. Come after us, please. I like the action.
Yeah, there will be bounties on us tonight, so we're excited to announce that. Prediction for me tonight, I'm just going to make the money, make it nice and easy. I'm not going to say I'm going to take it down. I'm going to make the money even if I'm min cash. Min cash in a little 5K will be fun. Excited. As someone that doesn't have a horse in the race, you're going to be sitting back, chilling, recording content. What's your prediction tonight?
My prediction is I think the two of you will make it to the final table.
Okay.
My man. Let's go.
We'll take it. With that said, thank you to Orange City, Daytona, Byron, Joe, Ryan for having us. As he mentioned earlier, we got a chance to talk about how humbling and excited we are for this partnership. Our very first tournament tonight is just beyond our wildest dreams. So we're super, super, super excited. This podcast is live, but you'll be seeing some shorts and it'll be posted tomorrow morning, if not tonight. We're going to go play some poker right now, though. So with that said, thank you guys for coming through, and we will see you guys. We'll see you later on social media when I'm holding up the trophy. Later, guys. Thank you.